Stars in the sky are going out, one by one. But no one notices it. No one can stop it. I'm racing to the last place where there is still hope. I need to make it before it is too late. The sounds of agony will quickly fade. The world will be destroyed. Even the memory of it will be gone. And even if there is absolutely no chance of bringing it all back, there will always be someone who is willing to do the impossible. In a place without space, without time, without memories. Where am I? I can't see anything except this path. And welcome, friends. Today we're looking at the first 30 minutes of Loop Hero. Kind of an old game, but it has appeared as free on Xbox, and I remember playing it a few years ago. I thought I would bring it to you so you can look at it. It's kind of an interesting game. It's kind of like an idle battler sort of thing. It's not a real intense strategic game, just more of a planning and building and upgrading game, as you'll see. Where am I? I can't see anything except this path. My head is killing me. I remember only a skeleton with a staff up in the sky. This darkness was coming from him. Did he destroy everything around here? Well, I certainly didn't do it. Maybe it was the big skeleton guy in the sky. Just standing here won't do me any good, I guess. To change between adventure, traveling through the map, and planning, stop. Modes, press the switch, right click, or space. Continue your journey by clicking changing the game mode. So switch between adventure and planning modes. So now we're in adventure mode, and you see I just kind of travel around. And I will keep traveling around this loop over and over again, fighting things as they appear. And you'll see. Hope I'll be able to find some shelter before nightfall. If night still even exists without the sky, that is. Pay attention to the day progress bar at the top of the screen. New enemies usually appear at the end of the day. Continue your journey by changing the game mode. Alright, so let's do this again. Spacebar. Oh no, I've run into a monster. A living ball of slime. Quite a nuisance. They digest anything they can. Hey, I remember this creature. Maybe I just need to freshen up my memory, and everything will go back to normal. So see, we came back into this world with absolutely no memories, but now we've seen this slime, and she remembers it. And maybe she remembers this giant ball of slime because it appears in almost every single RPG ever made. From Dungeons & Dragons 1st edition, probably back when it was simply called Chainmail, all the way up to Dragon Quest Heroes 99, Tales of the Forgotten Banana. Traveling, fighting, and most other actions are done automatically. The player can't affect them directly. Press anywhere to continue. Okay, so I press Hiya! 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 It's hard to fight with your bare hands. I think there's an undigested weapon in the remains of that thing. You have an inventory and an item slot. You know what to do. Equip an item to continue. Alright, so we have Gladius. Now that's a game. Gladius. I think I remember there was a grove nearby. Are these even my memories? Or do they belong to that slime? Slime have memories? So now we can modify this loop that we're traveling around. We can place things on it, and one of the things we can place on it is this grove. The gentle rustle of leaves, a crack of a dry branch, and a feeling of being watched. Spawns a rat wolf every 2 days. Rat wolves can move to adjacent tiles. Let's put that there. Good. Now continue your journey. We'll go back to adventure mode, and you can see once again we're moving. End of the day, so there's those rat wolves. And now we fight the rat wolves automatically. Since we had our sword, we did pretty good. A forest rat wolf. I was right. Some emotional stress, a few vivid images, and a bit of adrenaline, and I'll forget it all like a bad dream. I mean, I'll remember it all like a bad... Darn it! Good thing nobody heard that. As you probably have noticed, you get new items and cards during battle. Some items have unique features, as do most of the cards. By hovering over an item or card, you can inspect its properties. Equip a new weapon and place your new cards on the map to continue. We've already got an upgrade. So our polearm gives us damage and defense. It does a little bit less damage, but it also gives us defense. So I don't know if I would use it, but I'm going to go ahead and equip it. You notice that when we equipped it, the one that we had before disappeared. So now we have a forest, a thick forest. Nobody knows who or what could be lurking inside. It makes you a bit nervous. Now I get the plus 1% hero attack speed. Now this doesn't go on the loop. It goes out here in this no man's land. And now that it's there, my hero will have plus 1% attack speed. What does this do? Oh, resources. All right, so I got stable wood, a log that somehow managed to keep its structural integrity despite the general chaos. And we have a rock. Everybody loves a rock. Its magnificent appearance gives you strength. With plus 3 hit points and plus 3 more hit points for every adjacent rock or mountain. So again, this goes out here in the no man's land. I'm going to place it here. Good, so there's a mountain over there and a forest over there. The world's almost back. The branches and stones in my backpack are a sure sign of that. Some of your actions will yield resources that you will need later on, and not right now, but that shouldn't stop you from looking at them right now. Continue your journey by changing the game mode. So what resources do we have? We have a rock, apparently untouched by the Lick's curse, and thus suitable for building despite the shapelessness of this world. So we've got a rock, and we know that the Lick is what did all this to us. Alright, so I try to remember a little bit of the story. Apparently there was this undead wizard was destroying everything. And you are the last being that has any sort of memory, and you are slowly bringing the world back somehow. Your magic game stuff. Continue your journey by changing the game mode. There we go. So now once again I'm moving. So now I pass go. But I'm not going to collect $200. I think it's time to get some rest. The game itself is a journey on a looped path. Only you will decide when it's time for the hero to return to camp. Either you or the fangs and claws of your enemies, of course. You can retreat almost any time. The special animation will let you know when it's safer to do so. Retreat to the camp by pressing the button. I'm assuming they mean this button. It has the arrow on it and the picture of the guy running. There we go. You consider returning to the cozy camp right now, while you're still alive and walking. Good thing the camp is right nearby. Now's the perfect chance. Retreat, and I get to keep all my resources since I'm right at the camp. If I was further along or I died, I would have lost some stuff. But I didn't, so I don't. So we're gonna retreat. It's cold and dark here. A small fire can solve both of these problems. Nice place to set up camp. This is when all the resources you've gathered will come in handy. Who would have thought? You have just enough wood and stones to make a campfire. What a nice coincidence. Build a campfire using the building function while in camp. Press the build button, select the campfire, and place it. Oh yes, now I remember this screen. Like I said, this is all about upgrading and fighting automagically. So we get our campfire. A common campfire, warm and cozy. Monsters keep away from it, so it's a nice spot to have some rest between your travels. It's also the center of your camp and the starting point of your adventures. The hero restores 20% of his max hit points upon nearing the campfire tile. Weird that they said his, considering that my portrait is a woman, I believe. Congratulations, you've beaten this annoying tutorial. You can now start your first expedition or not, do as you wish. Click anywhere to complete the tutorial. Anywhere? If I click over here on my other monitor, will that do it? I'm not bragging about having two monitors. One monitor is a really nice monitor, and one monitor is not so nice. It calls me bad names. Okay, so now it's time for, what does this button do? This is just our normal stuff here, and I don't know how to do it. Alright, so continue. So let's go back to our expedition. Expedition menu. So there's the Lick dude. So let's start. And here we are back. Now you see the loop has changed. The path. Everything is wrong. But I remember. It looks like a completely different place and it's empty again. Do my actions have any meaning? Universal symbol for pausing and thinking. Like I have a choice. If I need to give up and cry to save the world, I am the worst savior of all. Let's do it. So here we go. Now, right now we don't have anything we can... We're started all over again. You notice we don't have our weapon that we had before. It's a fresh start. So we're going around. We don't have our anything that we had before. A brand new expedition. Now there is a way to improve things. I'm sure we'll see that in a little bit. So now we're going to go up here and we're going to fight the slime. Remember, it happens automatically. And we should get some resources for fighting him. We got some armor. Max hit points 88. So right now, 247, 253. If I equip it, yeah, it gives us plus 88 max hit points. So now we keep moving. We don't have anything else we can do. Start of a new day. Now the slimes just appear. They don't spawn out of anything. They're just like your free monsters to get you your early loot and your early things. So now we can place a meadow. Heals 2 hit points at the start of each day. I'm going to go ahead and put these here in the middle. Now, when we get into later levels, when further expeditions, where you place all these things matter. Because like I said, when you place them next to each other, these mountains, like it's better to have mountains in a big space where you can put a lot of them around each other. Because plus 5 hit points for each additional rock or mountain. And then we have a spider cocoon, a silky bastion of 8-legged hunters. It spawns a spider on an adjacent tile once a day. And you're probably thinking, why would I want to place these things that spawn monsters? Well, tougher monsters give better loot and more resources. Or better loot, just better loot. And more experience. We can put this adjacent to this. So I'm going to put it right here. Now there's something's coming back to me about remembering where to put these things. I just don't remember. Well, I'm sure we'll remember when we get to it. We got preserved pebbles, small stones that still remember, and when you hold them, you're able to vaguely remember for a few seconds too. 10 pieces of pebble form 1 preserved rock. Then we got a ration. A small amount of food, surprisingly, can still satisfy one's hunger. These things are a real luxury now. 12 rations form a whole food supply. Alright, let's keep going. Fighting some more. We'll just go around and we'll gather up a few more things. We got another meadow. Now you see we got 315 points, and those will heal 2 every day, thanks to my meadows. And now we have a grove, and spawns a rat wolf. Rat wolves can move to adjacent tiles. I'm going to put it here. So now we've got some more armor, which is not as good as the armor we already have, but now we have a shield, which we can use. So we're just going to keep moving around. And when we pass through the forest, we got some wood. And now we've got another armor. And each time we go through a loop, it's kind of like leveling up. Well, I mean, the monsters will get a little bit tougher, but the loot you find will be better. So now we've got this armor, which is already even better. So we just keep leveling up as we go along. We got a cemetery, place for the dead, and for summoning the living occasionally. Spawns a skeleton every 3 days. Let's put it here and see what we get when we go through it, if anything. When we go through it, we get preserved pebbles. So now we're fighting the slimes again. And once we get on our second loop, the slimes will be just a little bit tougher. So now we have another meadow. And then we have another rock. Plus 3 hit points forever. So there we go. So just having those rocks next to each other gives us more hit points. Another slime. To give us some more loot. More rocks and meadows. Means more hit points. Now we're just going to keep going around. You can see now the slime is tougher because we're on our second loop. Every time we go around a loop, the monsters get a little bit tougher. Well, you know, we got another mountain and another rock. And sometimes the game is just this. Sometimes you just, I mean, especially since we have to start over every once in a while. Alright, so we might not even, okay, we're attacking this too. We might survive. Let's see what we get for killing these guys. So we got some more stuff. And we healed some stuff because we leveled up. Did we get anything for going through there? I don't know. But now we have a ring. We've got a magic ring. So now do we want defense or evasion? I'm not sure. Ring. Can we wear 2 rings? Should be able to wear 2 rings. Apparently we can't wear 2 rings. Don't know why. So this is defense plus 3. And max hit points at 84. So all this loot is garbage. Keep going around. Fight another slime. And we haven't even got a full... Okay, so now we have a beacon. A worthless landmark in a world with no direction. Plus 40% movement speed within its range. Plus 20% attack speed for all units. So that means everybody. We'll put it here and just see what happens. And then we have another meadow. So I'm going to put it over here. So now you can see we have these rations, but we don't really have enough to do anything with it. So we have to be careful when we get here. Now we can tell the game if we don't want to keep an eye, if we don't want to just keep sitting here watching. Look at this. This rat wolf is a lot tougher now. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and set it so that now when we get here, if we pause as soon as we get here, then we can go to camp. Or I can hold this down, and this tells it the next time we get there, we'll automatically retreat. If we survive. Since these rat wolves have gotten awfully tough lately. Seem to be doing pretty good though. I think we'll survive this one. You notice we don't seem to be getting any, so you see we're on loop 2, and that means any enemy levels are 2. So we might not even be able to kill the skeleton. Oh, we do have, alright, so our Gladius has 12 to 8. Yeah, we weren't even using a weapon. So now that we have a weapon, maybe we can do better. If we had managed to heal ourselves. A road lantern, a small spot of light in this grim world, reduces the maximum number of spawning enemies on the tiles around it. Road lantern effects can stack. So if I put it someplace, I remember now, if I put it like here, then we can have these monsters spawning, but this will keep it from spawning too many. Let's see how we're doing with this sword now. Because we still need to level up we still need to get our hit points leveled up. A vampire mansion. Hungry eyes follow your every move through holes in the roof. Add vampires to battles on the tiles around it. On a rat wolf, I don't know if we want. Alright, so now you can see our armor is a lot better this has got 93 and damage to all and defense 2 and attack speed is plus 4. Go ahead and equip that. The shield is the same. This ring gives us defense and evasion. Go ahead and grab it. And that does the same amount of stuff. Yep, so good. We're still going to go ahead and exit, just so you can see what happens now. And so now we've got everything's still the same. Here we go. What is this thing? Battlefield. It smells of blood and steel. Spawns a chest on an adjacent tile each loop. Enemies on the tile around it become ghosts when they die. I don't think we're going to have time to see that right now because we're going to retreat. It will keep all this stuff and it will lose everything else. We're going to retreat just so you see. And now we're back. I can't believe it. Hey everybody, the boy managed to return. What boy? I don't know. Survivors, does this mean I'm not alone anymore? Where did you come from? Is there still a place without darkness? We don't know where we came from, that or we can't remember. These few people are all that's left of our group, I think. Oh, so he was talking first. Maybe I'm the boy. Okay. These few people are all that's left of our group, I think. You're not sure? We're not sure. We reached that conclusion based on the abandoned luggage and leftover daily rations. Each day we see the signs of other people's presence around us, but as far as we know, they don't exist and never did. It's like we forgot them. Forgot them? Exactly. As if people are disappearing every day and we instantly forget they existed. Just like we forgot where we came from. And our families. Maybe even ourselves. My name is Yota. That I still remember. Everyone else's memories are not much better. That's why I remember so little about myself. Everything is forgotten. But wait, you said I managed to return. That means you remember I was here. Yes, that's why it's so important to us. We saw you leave, but you were gone before we could approach you. Listen, we can't keep wandering in this emptiness anymore. There's a campfire here and enough space for a few sleeping bags. A real luxury in these dark times. What do you say? Of course you can stay. I'd be very grateful if we could team up. I want to put everything right. I'm only beginning to remember the world as it was before. But there's no point to it without other people. It's too lonely without them. Remember the world. I don't get what you're talking about. I'm too exhausted. But we'll be glad if you could help us. And we'll be glad to help you. Just don't ask us to follow you out there. I don't know how you managed to return, but for us leaving the group is too dangerous. I will ask no such thing of you. For now, I just want to have a place to return to. A place where I can hear other people's voices. And so now, alright, so we weren't joking about helping you. Here are the few things that survive the cataclysm and don't vanish. Don't become forgotten. Take it. You might need it. Alright, so they gave us some resources. So now we've got stable branches. So now we've got some wood, some actual rock, some actual food supply. So statistics just tells us everything we've done. You haven't lost any resources. You're a keeper, aren't you? You haven't been killed yet. Amazing. And so let's see what we can build. So we can't upgrade our campfire and we can't build another one. We can build a field kitchen. Very important place for any camp. If your nose isn't lying, there's good food here. Plus 10% of the campfire's healing power. Unlocks the Blood Grove card. And then we could also, that's the only thing we can build at the moment, is the field kitchen. So, guess what we're gonna build. So the campfire's healing power right now, I believe it said it restores 20% of our points, so it should restore 22% or 30%, depending on how this game does its math. So I can put this right here. Do you know the difference between a good cook and a bad cook? The food made by a good cook is tastier. What? You were waiting for something more elaborate? Sometimes the truth is very simple. Look, I have a cauldron, a hearth, a couple of knives, a bucket of potatoes, 3 onions, and some ham. Nothing special. Everything is very simple. But give me a few minutes, and everyone in this camp will be running to my table, following the tasty smell of a good stew. Alright. So that's the only thing we can build at the moment. You can see that there's a pathway following them. Like the herbalist hut, we have to have the herbalist hut before we can make the farm. And we have to have the herbalist hut and the field kitchen before we can make the gymnasium. And you can see we can only build one of each. I think some of these we can build more than one of. Like watchtowers, we can build 4. That's why it says 0 out of 4. You figured that out yourself. Very good. But let's go back out on another expedition. So what is this? So, what does it say? Chapter 1. Enemies have 0 to 1 abilities. Enemy strength minus 5%. So now we get to do some choosing here. What do we get to choose here? This is our starting deck. These are the cards that we take with us. I'm going to go ahead and leave those. So as we head out, we're going to have these. I don't know if these... I think these are the cards that are possible to spawn. Not necessarily the cards that will spawn. Class Warrior. I don't know when we can change our class. These are things that come up later, I believe. Let me check. Go hide building. Okay, so these are things that come up later. We can change to different classes. These are the cards that are available to be spawned. And you can see we don't have any additional stuff here. So let's just go ahead and keep going and see what happens. So here's our loop. And you can see we're already looping. So here's our first slime. Now, as you saw what happened the last time, everything happens automatically. I didn't even notice that we got a weapon, so sometimes you have to keep an eye over here. So now we got a spider cocoon. Spawns a spider on an adjacent tile. We'll go ahead and put it right here. I think that means it'll only spawn there. Let's see what happens. Go back, hit the space bar or press planning. We'll kill this dude. And so we got a weapon now. It only does 4 to 6, but it's better than nothing, right? So we got a meadow for some extra hit points, and we got a vampire mansion. Alright, let's do it here. I don't want to. I want to go vampire crazy. Looks like there's no. Alright, we put it there. We'll only have 2 places where vampires could be. I don't mind having a few vampires, but I don't want to go vampire crazy. I don't want to be playing like Twilight, the RPG. Alright, so we took him down. Now we got a rock. Put it over here where we have... seems like we might have more space over here. I'm not going to calculate it though. Then we're going to fight a spider. Wow, we must got a critical hit or something. The meadow. Keep going around. We're looping. Back off, human. Vampire? Where are your lands? If your farmers need help, I would be glad to offer it. No more lands, no more flock. Only hundreds of years of emptiness. And hundreds of years of hunger. ... Save yourself while you still can. I don't know how long I can keep my head straight. What hundreds of years are you talking about? Your mind is easy to trick, but you can't trick my hunger. It demands its fill. Every sip, every drop of blood will go to satiate it. I'm too weak. You can help me and I will set this crumbled world right. That's right. I'm doing this not just for myself. Everyone. In the name of the greater good. Be grateful for my hard work. And just let me bleed you dry. Yeah. Not gonna happen. Alright, so we got the shield, which we can use. Let me finish this off. Vampires often owned our land. They kept the peace and helped our settlements prosper. But this won't do it all. Now they are just pale shadows of their former selves, both physically and mentally. Apparently, blood of other creatures can't sustain them. He wasn't joking about the hunger. Even the creatures around him are imbued with the power to drain someone else's life. I didn't even notice. Alright, so we got another grove. A gentle rustle of leaves, a crack of a dry branch, and a feeling of being warm. So this is our rat wolves. We'll put this here. And another vampire mansion. I don't know if I want another vampire mansion. Because we haven't really built up that much. Oh, we do have armor now, though. Okay. Battlefield. That gives us resources. I mean, it gives us a chest. We'll put that there. Another meadow. We'll put that there. Keep going. We're going to fight, fight, fight. A ring gives us pure damage. I think that means the damage that just avoids all armor, stuff like that. So we got a beacon. Ooh, look at this. Alright, 4 to 6, 2 defense, and +7 counters. We'll go ahead and equip that. It's all about the upgrades, people. Upgrades, upgrades. We want a beacon. I don't even know if we want a beacon, but we're going to go ahead and place it and see what happens. I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to keep going. There's a new day, so stuff is spawned. The monsters will be a little bit tougher. We're on loop 2. Now we got an Oblivion. Bit of the Lick's magic causes anything to be totally forgotten. Erases any established tiles and erases monsters from the road. So this basically just resets everything. Maybe we'll have a look at it here in a little bit. Now we got another ring. I think that it helps us regenerate life, so I'm going to go ahead and get that. I remember that was kind of an important step before. Spider cocoons. There we go, we'll go ahead and put that. We got to get the stats and the equipment. We got a garbage sword. I thought there was some, I'm trying to remember, I seemed to think before that there was something you could do with the junk equipment. I could be wrong. Look at this, is there 3 spiders? Yeah, because if we don't get there fast enough, one spawns every day, so if it's a longer loop, that means you're going to spawn monsters. I mean, there's going to be more monsters waiting for you when you get there. Luckily, there's only one vampire at the moment. We got a road lantern, which was helpful, and we got another rock. And so we just keep doing this until hopefully, I mean, the monsters will start getting tougher and tougher, and eventually we'll have to leave. Obviously, we would like to do that before we die. And we got another sword. Regen per second is 0.6. I think I would rather have the regen. Hit points are everything, people. Another cemetery. Spawns a skeleton. We'll put it right there. And right at 30 minutes, we'll keep going for just a little bit longer. Just in case we get any extra cards that we haven't seen before. Anything interesting. Okay, so now we got more spiders. More mountains means more hit points. And now we got another rat grove. We'll put it right there. Okay, so here's our chest. We have to bash open the chest, and what do we get? Ooh. Got a powerful shield. Then we got a powerful spear. Major upgrade. See how quickly we take out this dude. 2 shots. Now we got a treasury. Gives a random basic resource after placing anything on an empty tile around it. Must be surrounded by empty space when you place it. So this is another world tile. So I'll put it out here. And then whenever I place something around it, I get another basic resource. So like if I put this rock next to it, it gives me some basic resources. So I can completely surround it with stuff and gain a bunch of resources. Here's another road lantern, which I can put right here. Right. There we go. Keeps monsters from spawning too much. So we're going around for our next loop. See what happens. We can always use our oblivion if necessary. So we'll just go around and we'll end this loop. And that'll be the end of this video if we survive. Not doing too bad. Alright, so... Now you can increase the speed. Eventually you'll get to a point where we'll be doing dozens and dozens of loops. Just the way things go, people. The way this game is, it's all about planning and upgrading and auto-battling better. Auto-battler, that's the word I was looking for earlier. An auto-battler. This meadow. That there. Nice, we're gonna fight another rat wolf. Which I'm assuming is a rat mixed with a wolf. We got a level 4 axe, which does a lot of damage. Let's give that a shot and see how that goes. Vampirism, 10%. Is that going to be better than what we have? Let's see. Right now we got 343. So now we've only got 1 dude left. He's doing a lot of damage to us. We still didn't come out of that battle. But now, look at our hip. Now our armor. Major upgrade. See, upgrades are random. Sometimes when you get an upgrade, it's super duper better. So this time we came out with a little bit more hit points than we did before. Uh-oh. We got a lot of monsters here. Seems like we're going to do okay, though. Yep. Let's go ahead and put down these rocks. Another meadow, put that there, put this other meadow over here. There we go. I'm not going to put down any more of this stuff because we're just going straight through to back to camp if we can survive. Done that. Now we got another chest. See what we're going to get out of it. Nothing great. Now we got this big battle here. Stop! Where did these goblins come from? I don't remember remembering you. We remembered ourselves. Now give us all your things. You have no idea what's going on, right? Why don't you help me restore order in this world first? You can do everything you want when I'm done. Goblin must rob. No other order in the world. Fair enough, I guess. Guess I don't have any good objection to that. Oh, wait, I do have one. How about... Okay, so I guess that means we're just going to murder them instead. I know what that little symbol is. So we got a bunch of more armor, which we can equip in the middle of battle, which is handy. And then we got a ghost because we had a cemetery. It's strange how these creatures appeared here on their own. Maybe it means everything is actually not so bad. The world is trying to restore itself. That, or even the apocalypse, isn't enough to get rid of some pests. Okay, so I think we're gonna make it. Yep. So now we made it through another loop. And like I said, that was just a 4 loop or a 3 loop. Sometimes you get to the point where you're just going through loops and loops, and I'm pretty sure that eventually you get to the point where you can keep some equipment from one loop to the next. So you'll start the next loop and you'll just be going crazy. Let's retreat. And then once again, we can just... Another success. You've returned and we still remember you. Unbelievable. Yeah, it's good to be back, but I'd hardly call it a success. My old memories of the world were gone. The path was empty again, and there was only darkness everywhere I looked. Interesting. So technically, you remembered that you forgot something. We could find a way to use that. Let's talk about something more positive. We managed to tidy up this place. Time for the next step. What do you have in mind? Expanding the camp. We have people with all sorts of skills, from the cook to the alchemist, but each needs a place to work. However, we can't build anything with the local materials. Find a branch or rock, turn away for a second, and it's gone. I'm afraid only you can solve this problem. The materials that survive your trips always look suitable for building. We already know all this. Those are just pebbles and splinters. How can you build anything with them? Curious, huh? I realized that when I saw your campfire. The things you find seem to spread stability to other similar materials and things. It's only a little change, but it's still something. Even a small branch is enough to make a wooden fence exist without constant oversight. Alright, so we can build more stuff. We could. We don't have enough materials to build anything at the moment. I think we could. Alright, so. Which means we would have to go on another expedition. But that's all we're doing today. You can see it's just constant battle, auto battle. Upgrade yourself as you battle. Upgrade the map. Place things on the map to dictate what monsters you find. You can put modifiers on there, like you saw the road lantern reduces the number of monsters that'll spawn in an area, so you can eventually gain pretty good control over how you lay out your maps, so that you optimize the amount of loot that you get and the amount of resources that you get, so that you can expand your camp and eventually unlock other classes and all sorts of good stuff. I remember I put about 20 hours into this game before. I really enjoyed it, but I don't think there was actually an end game, or it might have still been in early access when I first played it. But like I said, it's free on Xbox Gamepass at the moment, so you might go check it out. Pretty interesting if you like this type of chill game where you don't really have to do too much except plan and upgrade, plan and upgrade. Thank you for being here, and if you managed to walk all the way to the end of this, please drop a like or just drop a comment telling me that I did a good job or this was the worst video you ever saw. Either way, it helps with Mr. Algorithm. Thank you for being here. See you soon.